Kia ora everyone, welcome or welcome back to the channel. Today we're carrying on with my complete collection tour, which is a series of videos that I put out every year where I go through every single book in my collection, as well as showing you every page I've ever coloured and any work in progresses I may have. So I have done this in 2023 and 2024, so this is year 3. So if you want to see previous year's versions to see how my collection has changed, feel free to check out the playlist down below. But today's books, this is sort of my Asian illustrators, my Asian books. I don't have too many in the collection. In fact, most of these are the English prints of Asian books. I have more coming though, so next year this will be a much bigger category. Sneak peek for maybe what I brought myself for my birthday this year. But yeah, this is the books that I could categorize. There's actually a couple more, again, with all my categories. Sometimes these books that are also in other categories that could fit into a category as well. But I just tried to split up my books as best as I could across to keep things even. So yeah, anyway, enough ramble. Let's get into this. Let me just move these all to the side. And we're going to hear a bunch of my bad pronunciation. I am learning Japanese and I still am not the greatest at it, but I'm trying, you know? So the first one I have is My Colourful Town by Chiaki Ida. There's also as well as My Colourful Town, there's also My Colourful Room, which looks really, really interesting. And I think I would like to get at some point because this is quite a neat little book. But I have done one double page spread in here, which is this one here. And I actually did this in December as a Christmas page. Now, it wasn't originally drawn as a Christmas page. It is just a food area at a market. Basically, this whole book is the adventure of her journey around town that was drawn in by the previous owner. But it talks about the town. There's actually a map somewhere in here too, and it's her exploring. There it is there. So it's all these different areas that she goes to. So this is the farmer's market and just a little food area at the farmer's market. And so for me, I wanted to colour this page as if it was a night market and a summery Christmas night market, because of course here in Aotearoa, Christmas is in summer, and a strong memory for me around Christmas is actually doing night markets with my mum, who makes and sells jewellery at markets, and so I would often help her out at markets, especially around Christmas time, because it's a busy season. So yeah, really wanted to colour this, inspired by that. I also used to sell stuff at the markets. I used to create my own drawings and sell prints and stuff like that at markets, and that was my full-time job for a while before my hands kind of went kaput. So yeah, a lot of strong memories of it. So yeah, this one uses Inktense and I think Pablo, maybe Prismacolor. I literally just coloured this last month. I should be able to remember. And then a gold metallic gel pen and a bunch of Christmas washi stickers and these really cool 3D lantern stickers. So it is like actually 3D on the page. But I just thought it was such a fun sticker that I had to add it, and I loved how it added to this Christmas tree. Though that one is breaking a bit, so we'll just use the extra double-sided tape to stick that one down. Might have to look at that later. But yeah, I really like how this one turned out. Super cute, super fun, super vibrant. Really fun time. So that is Chiaki Ida, My Colourful Town. Then I have the Antique Dollhouse Colouring by Yumiko Tezuka. Yumiko ko tezuka. Yeah. learning, trying my best. This is a gorgeous book that I need to get back in and show some love to because it is really, really sweet. But I have done this one here, the miniature house. Really, really impressed with the paper because I used distress ink in the background and I did activate it with water, which usually bleeds through with lots of spots, but you can see there's no spotting through the page, so absolutely fantastic paper. Then I used polychromos to colour in the main illustration and Liquitex gold ink, acrylic ink, to colour in the lantern itself. And I was really trying to do like a pastel-y light colour scheme. It's not the best thing in the world, but I was trying, which is why I used polychromos directly without a base. Yeah, I'm not 100% happy with my colour scheme here, but I do really like the overall vibe. It is very like, it feels very brown and grey heavy, which it is. There's a lot of brown, there's a lot of grey, and I feel like it needs more vibrance, but that's my personal feelings because I like bright rainbow things, so I always want to make my pages brighter and more rainbows and more glitter. So yeah, it was a real challenge for me, but I do like how it came together. That is Antique Dollhouse colouring. And then I have two books by Tomoko Toshiro, Princesses and Fairies colouring book and the Fairy Tales colouring book. These ones are some detailed colouring books. Found these at random at a local store and I just grabbed them because I'd never seen them before. And I was like, that's so cool. Uh-oh. Where it go? This one's going to get some baking paper before it goes away on the shelf. This one was a disaster page and has completely bled through onto this one. So this one's also going to be a fun cleanup as well. But I started with some water-based markers to colour the fae and then used paint pens to colour in all these little flowers and a gold metallic gel pen to do all the details on her dress after putting a bunch of Mod Podge extreme glitter on to make it all sparkly. And then her wings I used like acrylic paint and this chunky glitter gel that I had. And then I went to do the background and I had this really beautiful iridescent paint that I knew when I thinned it out slightly it's yellow but it has a blue shift in it, and that's what I was planning on just sort of having a little bit around her. But I went to start applying it and I didn't realize that my brush had just the slightest amount of black left in it. I thought it was clean and it was not. And that black just got picked up and dragged everywhere. So I ended up just painting the whole background with this paintbrush and then going nuts with splatter and just adding to the page these stickers. Like, it was literally like, well, let's just keep adding to the page. So I did. So yeah, it's chaotic. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but it is fun. Like, there's a lot on the page. And then we have the Fairy Tales colouring book, and we have this gorgeous spread here. I love this spread. So this is a 12 Dancing Princesses spread, and this one, there's actually a video on the channel, because this is quite an older page for me. It's 2023, where I show how I use washi tape on a page to create clothes. So all these patterned pieces of the dresses are washi tapes. And then I use polychromos pencils to finish off, shading in certain areas of the dress, and stickles to add all the sparkle. And then for the background, there is stickles, there's a green metallic gel pen, and there is a rose gold paint pen as well. And yeah, I still really love this spread. I think it's really cool. And because there's so much detail in those dresses, like, it was a great way to sort of color the dresses without having to sit there and color in tons of tiny patterns, and let the washi tape be the patterns instead. So yeah, really like how that one came together. There's Fairy Tales colouring book by Tomoko Toshiro. And then Naoko Neko Story of Precious Cats. This is one of my favorite books in my collection. I love this book. I cannot express how much I love this book. It is such a gorgeous book. It is the first book I have looked at and gone, every single page I will color. Like, I can see myself completing this book. I have a lot of books that I'm like, oh yeah, I could complete that book, or yeah, I could complete this book. This is the first one that I went, I will complete this book. So while it's not a 2025 goal, I definitely will be working in this book a lot more in 2025 because it is stunning. And it took a while for me to work in it because I was just like, I love this book so much and I don't know where to start, what to do. And so I started with the character page. I realized that because it's the same characters all the way through the book, it's a good idea to actually sit here and work out the color scheme for each of these characters. And so I did that. I used Google Translate because my Japanese isn't good enough to read this yet. I can see a couple of words. I can recognize the symbols. I can recognize some of the lettering, but I couldn't I can't read enough of it to to actually make sense of it. So yeah, but I use Google Translate to learn more about the different characters and then set up a color palette. And I have recorded that color palette and that lives in the book so that I can keep my colors consistent across all the pages. I'm going to put that back in the front before I lose it. And yeah, I love how each of these characters are. So Pipiri and Pipino are sort of calico inspired tabby cats. Chiro, my favorite little boy, is in black. Tom is a blue Persian. Daisy I did as a pure white cat because Daisy is the grandmother, so I thought that would bring in some of the white for the sort of more calico theme. And then Heek, their friend, is just a good old ginger boy. Felt like his personality suited a ginger. So yeah, I do love the color scheme, and their outfits may change, but this is their fur styles and markings and stuff like that. So I wanted the sisters similar but different so that they could be turned apart. So you could tell them apart. So Pepino is our darker kitty with the more brown tones, whereas Pupuri is the more ginger based kitty. And I have completed one other page in here. And this one took me so long to complete, but I love how it turned out. And that is the gingerbread village. So this is meant to be it's in the Christmas section because it does have like seasonal, it is broken up by seasons. But I did this as a rainbow candy village rather than a traditional gingerbread village because it's fun. And I had so much fun doing this. It took me months to do this page. I mean, admittedly, I moved and had a breakdown in the middle of it, so that added to it. But yeah, this one definitely took a while. So I used Inktense to base everything, and then a mixture of Polychromos and Pablos to shade. I used Posca to do some highlighting, and there is Mod Podge Extreme Glitter on this background here because I just felt like that was just screaming out for glitter. And yeah, I really love how it came together. Such a fun page. And yeah, I have a page in here for January that will carry on till February, and I'm excited. This is one of my favorite pages in the book, so I'm really excited to get to the pirates page. Such a cool page. But yeah, I expect a lot more in Naoko Neko Story of Precious Cats because I love this book. And then I have Romantic Country by Erie. This was a new find in 2024. I obviously knew Erie was a fan favorite amongst a lot of people, and I'd seen so many people's work in it, and I was like, oh, that's really gorgeous. And then I just couldn't access Erie for a while. I finally found the second tale available on a local site for a reasonable price, and I was like, all right, I'll try out Erie because everyone speaks so highly. I get it. I really get it. It is so cute and oh, just so fun and just absolutely gorgeous. I freaking love this book. So I've done 2 pages in here. This one I need to go in and put a protection sheet on. But I have done Mannon's Flowers. So this one I used Inktense to base, and I actually used an alcohol marker to activate the Inktense, which is something I don't usually do, but I thought I would try it. And it shadowed through a little bit, but it's not too bad. And this has got so much open space behind it that I can do something fun there. But yeah, alcohol marker, activated Inktense for the base, and then Prismacolor to color in the page. I did do a little bit of Pablo initially, but I realized that I actually liked the way the Prismacolor felt on the page, so I ended up switching to Prismacolor to shade over the top of it. A little bit of metallic gel pen and Posca paint pens to do some highlights. No stickles, which is very surprising. No glitter. But yeah, I really love how this page came together, and it's just such a sweet book. And then the other spread that I have done in here that has this uncut piece of baking paper to protect it for now, I will trim that eventually, is the Christmas page, which I did for the Christmas season in 2024. And oh, it was a lot, but I love how it came together in the end. So for this one, I used Inktense to base, and I think I used a couple of Albert Duras too for some lighter areas, and then I used Prismacolors again to shade everything. There is Liquitex gold acrylic ink for all the gold, and then I used some white acrylic paint with some iridescent medium on top to create snow at the bottom. There's Mod Podge Extreme glitter on all the elements so that they've got all the ornaments, so the ornaments will sparkle. And then, as you'll be able to see by the reflect, there's also Ranger glossy accents on all the glass as well, so they actually have like a glassy reflect, which is really, really fun. It's really fun to touch as well. I love that. I love that little smooth area. I don't know, I'm quite tactile. I don't like I either don't like or I do really like the way the page feels. I don't like gritty feeling things, so I don't like chalk pastel pages or like the soft touch Amazon covers, but something like this is like, yes. Anyway, and yeah, I really love how this one came together in the end. Like, all that glossy accents work was so much, it just about killed my hands, but when it was done, it looked fantastic. I did just yawn there. I need more coffee. But yeah, those are the 2 pages I have done in Romantic Country, and yes, I am planning on doing a lot more in this one as well, because I also really like that book. And then the last 3 I have are all the same illustrator, Kanoko Agusa. So I technically have one more by Kanoko Agusa, which is in my Colouring Heaven collection. So that one will stay with those, with the Colouring Heaven collection, even though Kanoko Agusa and could classifies this. This is what I mean about some books fitting into multiple collections. So we'll start with Garden of Fairy Tale Animals. I think this might be the one I've only done the one in. It is this big double page spread here, which I still absolutely love. It was so much work, because for this one I used Crayola Super Tips as watercolor. So I would color on a non-absorbent surface and use a bit of water to pick it up and put it down by like watercolor. I also did a little bit of direct shading onto the page with the markers to get like some of the textures and that, and I just love how this one came together so much. It's so bright, it's so colorful, it's so happy, and all the little duckies are so sweet. And yeah, I really do like this page a lot. it did bleed for a bit. So on this one, like, I can cover that up in the background, no problems. And I'll just have to work a bit of blue in somewhere or something, you know? And then on this page here, we have quite a bit of bleed through. However, I don't see myself colouring this page, so I wasn't too worried about sacrificing it. Could still come in there and work something over the top, but again, this is not a page that I see myself necessarily colouring. So it's like I would rather try the technique and see how I go. And yeah, I loved it. I really wanted to try it on the bricks. The bricks are coloured with a lot of the Colours of the World Crayola set to get a lot of different browns and tones. So yeah. And I know I could go back and add in, like, a lot of these bricks and stones use multiple markers, whereas like these leaves are one marker. So I could go in and add more depth with more colours. And I should have done that at the time, but I kind of sped through the rest of it. But I still really, really love how it came together. So there's Garden of Fairy Tale Animals. And then I have Kingdom of Curious Creatures, and I know I've done a couple on here. Start at the back with this page here, which I love. So something about Kanoko's work makes me want to just work in polychromos pencils, like not basing, not putting down that layer. And that is very different for me, like willingly working in just pencil. But I don't know, I just really enjoy it in this book. And so this whole page has just been done in polychromos pencils. There's some washi tape on the close, a little bit of Posca to add in a little pattern on this one, and then of course lots and lots of stickles over all the flowers. And yeah, like, it took a while. I streamed coloring this page, and literally one stream was me coloring for 8 hours and just doing the clouds. Like, that was the whole stream, was me just coloring clouds. And like, people still hung out and vibed and enjoyed while I worked on this page, but I was like, yeah, I'm working with a blue pencil and coloring clouds. But yeah, people enjoyed it. So that was the main thing. I love how this page turned out. I love my rainbow flowers, and still, yeah, I don't know, there's something about it, something about the magic of her work and the magic of what I produce in her work. um, this is the next one, which is this one here. So this one was a whip I finally completed in December 2024. It had been a whip for a very long time, about a year and a half. I'd had all these disasters with the background. Originally, this had like a wallpaper drawn in, and I was colouring that with just pencil. And I kind of screwed up. I started this for Christmas in July in 2023, and I'd ran out of time, so I put it aside, came back to it in December of 2023, and used the wrong pencils to colour in the wallpaper, and my hands were different on the day, so the shading was really obviously different. And so I was just like, okay, no, we screwed that up. Let's just grab gouache paint and paint over the background, and we'll just have dark blue walls. And so I did that, and it was like a really hot day, and the gouache just went so sticky and so tacky, and it was so awful. And I was doing this on stream, and even my stream peeps were like, put the book aside, you are very clearly frustrated and this is not working. And so we did, we switched to, I think, any day, and we just did some fun light coloring. But yeah, this year I decided to come in and fix up that background, so I used washi tape to create a new wallpaper over the background, and very much happy with that. It looks way better than the disaster that was there. And then so the main body has been coloured with polychromos pencils. I did use some Deco Art Enchanted Shimmer and their super fine glitter, Glamour Dust, to do all the little baubles. There's a little bit of Posca like on the edge of the plates, which I used to kind of, I wasn't the best at cutting around these edges, so I used that to kind of clean up the edges a bit there. And yeah, all just polychromos down here. Really like that one. I'm just glad to have gotten that one completed as well. And then what is probably my two favorite pages in the book is these two here. I love how these two turned out. Again, entirely polychromos. There is a little bit of white gouache in the background here for the sort of bokeh effect, but the entire thing has been done with polychromos. And again, I don't know what it is about her work. I really enjoy coloring with just polychromos, and it's not my usual. But I love, love, love these two pages. Yeah, just very happy with them. I think that might be everything. Yep, so that's everything in Kingdom of Curious Creatures. And then our lucky last one is Symphony of Cute Animals. I know that there's one towards the back. That cannot be the only page I've done in here. No, okay. I was going to say, I'm sure there's at least one more page in here. But yeah, there's a lot less pages done in here than I realized. I might need to show this one some love because this one was like my favorite when I got them. So yes, I have this one here. So this one uses distress ink in the background, and then there's a little bit of iridescent gold as well, and that is because the tissue that I was using to pick up the splatter when I activated the background, I didn't realize had some gold Kaiser Craft shimmer spray left on it. So there's like a little bit of iridescence in the background, but it's super subtle because it was kind of dabbed in with the tissue because I didn't realize it was on there. Totally works though, just a complete accident. And then for the kitty cat itself, this is all polychrome, Prismacolor pencils. Did I base it? Don't think I did. And as you can see, of course, the distress ink did bleed through and activate onto the side. However, I figured I can paint around the background and I can work it. Like, it's only on a couple of elements in here, like a little bit on that there, which who knows what that is. Could be a nut. That tablecloth, which I was kind of thinking I might do the tablecloth's gold anyway. Like a little bit on here, which I could block out with white pencil. So yeah, and obviously the macaroon, and maybe we just do a brown macaroon up there. Like, it's very workable with the bleed through, and I would rather have created that background because I love that background and the intensity of it. I really like this one. And then the other page I'd done here, I swore I'd done more in here, but obviously not, is this massive double page spread. So this one, we call this one the Law of Murphy's Law. I streamed coloring in this page, and while I was working on it, my Twitch chat ended up coming up with a whole story with me of this whole village and like everything that's going on in this scene, and it's this whole murder mystery. It's ridiculous. There is a hidden video somewhere on my channel where I explain the Law of Murphy's Law. It's like 10 minutes long. If I remember, I'll try to link it. If not, bonus points if you find it. There are links to it from other videos. But it's definitely a bit of a hidden video. But yeah, I really, really love how this came together. And like, this was months of streaming. We ended up doing a 18.5 hour stream, like my longest ever stream at the end to finish off this page because I was so close, and it's like, I am streaming till this is done, knowing that it would take me at least 10 hours. The marble added another 6 hours, but I love how it came together, and I've had so many requests on how to do marble. I will eventually sit down and do it. It has been recorded to do a formal sit down tutorial. I just am someone who really struggles to do formal tutorials. You can go and watch the VOD. The VOD has been split up. It is in my live streams playlist, and because it's 18.5 hours, I think I split it up into 3 6-hour chunks. But yeah, you can go and find the VOD and watch as I create it there, because I kind of figure it out on the fly there. Yeah, so apart from Polychromos pencils, there is some Posca. There is Deco Art Enchanted Shimmer for in the background here. There is Stickles in Black Diamond for the bats. And that's it. I don't think I used any metallic gel pens. I created all the gold. I have the hiccups now. Great. Yeah. I think that was everything. But yeah, I still love this page. I think I love it so much because of the memories associated with creating that story with my Twitch chat. And we were like, we need to go through and see if these characters are anywhere else in the book, or come up with more stories for these characters, because honestly, it was so fun. And yeah, that wraps up all of my Asian books. So yeah, not a few books. I have a few more coming. I have it wouldn't be hard to put together. These are book series that I've talked about wanting for a really, really long time. And I might have been able to order it for my birthday. So yeah, there'll be a few more books in this category in next year, and I am excited for that. But in the meantime, it's an excellent collection. I'm so excited for Kanoko Agusa's new book this year as well. So that's one that I will be trying to get my hands on as soon as possible. But obviously I need to show some more love to this one in the meantime. I need to show love to all of my books. Let's face it. Never enough time. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this flip through of my books. I still have quite a few more parts of this series to film, so I hope you'll stick around to see some more of my collection. Thank you so, so much for watching. All the aroha to you all. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.